Hello everyone, and welcome to my game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Invader, and he's in the Smolensk, the most hated ship in the game. He's on the map mountain range in a 3-point domination game mode. And well, there is only a booster for radar, which is pretty nice, because he has smoke. And there is no carrier. Now obviously, since we are watching a Smolensk replay here, that means after this battle I'm going to take a shower and then I'm scrubbing myself until my skin bleeds and the pain starts distracting me from the shame and guilt of having watched the Smolensk replay. But I mean, that's something else. Now anyway, I also want to point out that I don't actually have a problem with the people who play this ship, I have a problem with the ship. Right, this ship shouldn't exist, like just plain and simple. This ship should not exist. But it does exist, so I can't blame people for playing. Now having said all of that, something I also want to point out that this Smolensk has 16.6 kilometers range. That means he's not going for the full range build, that means he's not just happy sitting at 19 kilometers setting stuff on fire, but he wants to get a little bit more involved, which also tells us that this might be a little bit more interesting than your average Smolensk battle. Now, meanwhile, the friendlies have captured the center. We have a large force going for A, and we have a Sauer and the Republic who have abandoned the sea camp. We've already lost the Montana, who decided that if you have low numbers and the enemy is aggressive, the best thing you can do is suicide. And I'm sorry, there was a distraction right now of a cat jumping onto my printer. Anyway. So, not looking so good on this flank, which means the friendlies might just have to retreat soon. Now, Somers is very careful here, and well, we know that there is the booster. So far he's mostly just providing spotting for our Smolensk, I would presume. And he also seems to be in retreat here. Now, interestingly enough, the friendlies have not managed to grab the A camp despite the heavy presence here. There is even a Moskva with radar around. And like the left flank really needs to deal with those guys soon, because the enemy is certainly using their advantage in numbers at the seaside. Usually, like, if you have more ships at the flank than the enemy, then you want to push, especially if it's significantly more. And if you have less ships, then you want to play defense. If you have more ships on a flank and you just patiently wait, then the other flank is going to get overrun, you're going to get into a crossfire and you're just getting wrecked. Obviously that's a bit of a simplification, but that's generally how it goes. Now Invader here still wants to hold the line, and we'll see how good that works. Now he is in the open, he has lost his cover. He technically has a smoke screen ready if he needs it, but for now it looks like he is fine just trying to dodge in the open water while he just sets a few more fires, cause well, he is in a Smolensk and that's what Smolensks do. Now he's also almost out of range of those guys because he's not using the full range build. And back into concealment it is. There is an enemy Smolensk approaching. So he is going for a smoke here, and let's just see. He's trying armor piercing, but the Smolensk angled anyway. Unfortunately, because he doesn't have the range upgrade, there isn't that much he can shoot from right here. Possibly the Kurfürst, if that Kurfürst is in a position where he can lob shells over the island. And technically the enemy Smolensk, but we can't see them. Now there is an Ohio who has bravely... he has beached himself, I think. And the enemy Smolensk seems to have nothing better to do than to just blind fire this smoke. Which I guess is getting slightly annoying, because, I mean, with the rate of fire the Smolensk has, he can just carpet bomb the area and he will get hit, you know, like... slowly, but he will just get hit. So Invader decided enough is enough, he's just going to leave. That means he also sought a little bit of the Smolensk and he's getting some sweet revenge there. Unfortunately now he is in the open. And there is still a lot of enemies there. Now, meanwhile, the friendlies have managed to capture A, so that's amazing. The B cap is mostly being lost. The Republic that has abandoned C earlier has decided to come back now. I mean, there's some positive on that. Yeah, just has to be careful that he doesn't overcommit. I mean, he would have been a lot more useful when there were more ships around here, but you know. He's taking interest in this flanks of it. Now, the friendly Moscow is actually pretty strategically placed because he can raid up probably like A and B. And that might come in handy, but there aren't that many ships that can actually defend B, it looks like. But one enemy Shimakaze has just been dealt with. Which is the first enemy ship that has been sunk in this battle. Now meanwhile, Invader here is, well, he's going for concealment again and he's just... Oh, no, he's shooting again. I mean, he's still in secondary range of the Kurfürst, so I probably wouldn't have done that. Kurfürst secondaries are scary, and... I mean, as a Smolensk, you're probably just... hoping that you get overpenned or you get bounces on your like 30mm belt armor and what it is like. Which seems to be working pretty fine for him. But you know, it's this, I would be more afraid of the secondaries than the primaries. But he's managed to get out of those secondaries. Kurfürst primaries do basically nothing here because, well, Kurfürst has bad accuracy and Smolensk has rather trolley armor, I suppose. So he's just kiting away while starting a barbecue on the enemy ship. I mean, it's a German ship. They might have bratwurst there, so they can make use of those fires. Well, it looks like he damage gone, but you know, I mean, it's a Smolensk. Those fires are gonna be back. I mean, it's just... Once the damage gun is over, those fires are so gonna be back. Unless the Smolensk is forced to disengage. Which it doesn't look like. Now, on a positive note, the friendly team has finally taken an interest in the B cap. On the negative note, well, there aren't that many friendlies around them. Well, okay, the enemy team is only up 2 ships. And I'm surprised that there aren't more fires on the enemy core first. It's, Smolensk broke. Oh, yeah, there is a fire. There you go. And there is a Widower. It took 10 minutes to get the Widower there. So clearly Smolensk needs a buff, is all I'm saying. And yeah, that Kurfürst has been dealt with. What's up next? Now he could try to go for C-cap, maybe catch out that Smolensk there. That is in the back and doesn't have... Well, I mean, first of all, we gotta deal with this Rooster and hopefully the gearing. There is the Rooster, so he's already shooting the gearing. If those 2 ships are dealt with, that will obviously be very helpful. Now, if that gearing manages to drop into concealment again, it might be, like, for destroyers, especially destroyers with good torpedoes, it doesn't really matter if they don't have that much health, if they survive. Was like 1k health gearing is as dangerous as a full health gearing when it comes to torpedoes. He can just sail around and torp stuff and maybe never get spotted again in this match. So there is that. Unfortunately, gearing escaped. But, well, Invader has found a nice little spot where he can probably shoot the Montana, the Ohio, possibly the Smolensk. Depends on what gets spotted. Now the friendly battleships, well, the Republic is, you know, when this game started, the Republic abandoned sea, which was a very bad move. Then I had some hopes when the Republic was coming back in to help, and now, okay, he's on very low health. I'll grant him that. He's on very low health. He needs to heal up at this thing. So it might make sense that he's so far in the back right now. Now, not sure in what shape this Montana is, but he is quite a bit out of position and he is charging a Somers ship with quite a lot of torpedoes. That's probably not going to end well. Meanwhile, have fire going on the enemy Smolensk though. Did he damage Con already? Yes. There is some poetic justice of seeing Smolensk on fire, I suppose. But unfortunately, just damage Con. So the enemy, was that the Sommer, seems to be confused. He clicked and there were no torps. I mean, you'd have to see what exactly happened. Maybe his torp launchers were knocked out. Maybe they were not completely turned. Who knows? Now the friendly Moskva seems to be going down. Oh, there is the gearing. Is that the Moskva raider that caught the gearing? Possibly. So, that gearing is dealt with. That's very crucial. Of course, that means the enemy team doesn't have a destroyer anymore. There is also a high caliber, which is nice. And the invader is just going to go for concealment here. Now, there is still the enemy Smolensk inside the sea cap. If they can deal with that Smolensk, that would be rather helpful for the friendlies, and then they could just grab the sea cap. And then he can just sit there and maybe set some more things on fire. So there is still one hydro charge remaining that might come in handy, cause, well, Smolensk has torpedoes. He also still has a heal left. Isn't that healthy, but probably on par with the enemy Smolensk. And he has his division mate, although like it's not like a Somers will be that helpful unless he gets some good lucky torpedoes in. There are also no more smoke screens left, so islands and open water gunboating it is from now on. He's carefully going around here. He's probably taking this a little bit slow because his hydro was not ready. But now he's decided, you know, let's go for it. That Smolensk is trying to escape. He's also currently not angled to torp. And there you go. So, well, he's on fire, the enemy's on fire. It's basically what you'd expect from a Smolensk battle. Enemy Smolensk decided there were too many fires, he had to damage comp. So we start a new fire. Yeah, Smolensk is done for. Now, Invader kept his damage con till the Smolensk battle was over, of course, I mean. Well, damage conning while under fire from a Smolensk seems a little bit silly if you only have one fire going. So he's also going through his last heal here, and well, let's see what comes next. The Tsao is too far away to shoot, so maybe he can just burn the Montana a bit more. The friendlies have almost overtaken the enemies on points, but only almost. Now we have the Somers here, his division mate inside the B camp, he is inside the C camp, so the friendlies are finally getting their cap zones back. Which might be helpful, like the friendlies are only one ship ahead, and points wise it's very much in favor towards the enemies. Like if those enemy ships were playing more aggressive, then like basically those guys helping the Montana. Like we can't see the Tsao, the Hindenburg or the Smolensk. I don't think any of those three ships is currently engaged in anyone. So yeah, that means that Montana is just getting focused down while the others are just watching how they're, well, like that Moskva, wasn't she like on 1k HP at some point? I guess the enemies failed to finish that off. And it's not like that most of the friendlies are in the perfect position here. Like if that Smolensk and that Hindenburg and that Tsao would have helped that Montana a bit more aggressive, they could have easily sucked. For example. I mean, sure, they are like a little bit, Well, they are not the most healthy ships, but you know, sometimes, especially if it's close, you gotta take a risk, because if you don't do anything, then you are just going to lose anyway, so... And yeah, you see, the friendlies, they just lost the Moskva finally. And... like, if the enemy team prevented the friendlies from getting B or C, then they might have a chance taking this point wise. It's only 2.5 minutes left. And, you know, said it's not so decisive ship-wise. There is certainly a time and place to play passive, but there is also a time when you just gotta say, you know, the default outcome, like if I do nothing, we lose, so maybe we just try something, even if the chance of success isn't that high. It at least gives us a chance of winning. But be that as it may. Invader, meanwhile, is, well, setting some fires on a Hindenburg. And... well, that Hindenburg is soon going down. Meanwhile, looks like the Hindenburg's return fire was not very effective. And now Invader is just one hit away from a Kraken. Now, that cell was, I think, on below 500 health or something like that. Might have had a seal. It's possible that he had a heal since then. But at this point in the game, he's probably out of it. And he's getting cocky and asking the Zhao to give him Kraken. Of course, I have a feeling that Zhao is not going to comply. And that's exactly the answer that Zhao is giving. So, yeah. Was a close match, but it's gonna be a victory. Yeah, with the results, and you know, I don't like the Smolensk, but I still found this an interesting battle to watch, and as I said before, I have no problem with the people playing the ship, I have a problem with the ship. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this too, and now I'll have to get into my shower and start scrubbing. So, see you guys next time.